Welcome back to the show. Welcome to the Value Vault. I think this is episode 17 now, which this is just getting incredible. I'm actually really, really loving and enjoying this whole process. And I think it comes because I'm at a stage in my life right now where there's a lot of shifts that are taking place, and I feel like there's a lot of wisdom that I'm acquiring. There's a lot of experiences that I'm having, and I just feel like there's a lot of lessons that I'm learning, and a lot of insights that I'm getting as well. And I think what I want to, I was thinking about what do I actually want to share on the episode today, because I don't just want to have these as episodes where I'm just speaking about something where I don't really feel connected to at this present moment. I feel a little bit inauthentic speaking about that particular thing. And I really want all of my material, all of my content to reflect my current knowledge, my current experiences, and ultimately being able to provide the best possible value that I can to you. And I think based on where I'm at with my journey right now, there is something which I am incredibly grateful for an experience and having an incredible realization of for the sake of our well-being. And it's the importance and the value of solid connection, not just with yourself, which is fundamental, but once you've sort of developed that connection and understanding of self, and you really are starting to discover or rediscover who you are, what makes you tick, all of these types of things, I really do feel like an essential component to a life of vitality and longevity and meaning and fulfillment is ultimately connection with people who are on your wavelength, people who are on your frequency, people who you can bounce ideas around with, people who, the insights that you're having, the realizations that you're having, and all of these experiences that are going on, whether they're quote unquote good or bad, just having a, a network of people, even if it's one person, where you can offload, where you can openly communicate, where you can have conscious conversations, where you can bounce ideas around, where you can ultimately and more importantly, just authentically express yourself and that be reciprocated, where that be accepted and actually encouraged. I'm realizing the importance and the vitality of actually having that in our life. And I think with me and my journey, I feel like I've had to be on the journey that I'm on, and everything happens for a reason. And I know that because when I started to get into personal development, when I started to get into the realization and the understanding and awareness of who I am, what we are, how we work, how we operate, what the mind is, how does that tick, what is it? You know, when I started to gauge an understanding of those things, I really started to gain awareness of how much I was just operating in ignorance. Ignorance just being the lack of knowledge. How I was just so unaware that I was unaware, and that I was just so unaware of the life that I was living and the path that I was walking, and ultimately the destination that I would have ended up being at, right? The moment I started to gain this type of awareness, which came through studying the likes of Bob Proctor, Earl Nightingale, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, like all of these, Ed Milet, all of these people. When I started to get myself engaged in that type of stuff, I essentially became a recluse. I just hibernated, and I become so obsessed. I became so fascinated by it. And I was just so intrigued, and I was just so interested in it, in this thing. And what was happening was I was just so consumed by it, and I loved it, and I still love it. I love it more than I ever have done, and I know that's always going to continue and progress. But I've realized that I'm at a stage in my life right now where what I have lacked is connection. It's the sense of brotherhood because I am a male. That sense of brotherhood, and if you're a female listening to this, it'll be sisterhood, I'm assuming. And because I've lacked that with not just the sake of having somebody there for having somebody there's sake, it's having somebody there who gets you, understands you, who is somebody who has qualities that you aspire to possess and have achieved things that you know, aspire to achieve. You know, it might not be in that particular thing that they've done, but of, you know, the same level of success and stuff. I think having people like that who you can learn from, who you aspire in some way, shape, or form to emulate, you know, not copy and mimic, you know, emulate, take parts of their personality and their attributes and their way of operating and their successes, and sort of think to yourself, how do I actually apply that to me? How does that actually express itself through myself and my actions and my results? And, you know, being able to just have somebody there who you see almost like a role model, but also somebody who you can just be open with, who you can share about whatever it is that you're going through at the moment, the highs, the lows, sharing your insights, sharing any bit of knowledge or wisdom that you've got, and ultimately on a path of improving themselves and aspire to improve themselves. I feel like being able to have a network of people who you can just plug into and be in physical presence with, I do believe is essential and vital for productivity, for our well-being, for our mental health, and ultimately for our vitality and longevity. I really do believe, because I think because we're social beings, we're social animals. When we aren't being social, when we're being antisocial for elongated periods of time, you know, yes, solitude, the ability to be present with ourselves and not need to be around people, you know, being comfortable with yourself. And I suppose that's probably why I've been on the path that I've on, and I've essentially been in solitude for nearly 2 years, not really seeing anybody else, so to speak, is because I never used to want to be by myself. I couldn't be with myself. If I wasn't with people, I'd get frustrated. I'd get incredibly bored. And it's like, I don't like being by myself. And I suppose, and this is a realization that I'm literally having right now as I'm actually seeing this, that that's why I've had to go through this elongated stage and season of hibernation and essentially social isolation, because I now love being by myself. I don't mind being by myself. I can go out and go for food by myself. I backpacked Cambodia by myself. You know, I couldn't have done that before. Now I can. Now I enjoy doing that. And now that I've enjoyed being present with myself and gained comfort in doing so, I feel like now the season where I'm in, it's about connection, but meaningful connection. You know, connection with people, for me, the people who I aspire to connect with is just people who have that same desire and natural instinct to gravitate towards development and elevation in whatever size, whatever magnitude, and in whatever area, just operating with a mindset of growth, whether that be physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, in your health or in your recovery, you know, whatever it is, because you know we become the product of the people who we surround ourselves with. And if we're surrounding ourselves with people who are uplifted in energy, they're aspirational people, they are people who are orientated around growth, they're very growth orientated, they enjoy developing themselves, or even if they don't enjoy developing themselves, they develop themselves, they progress, and they have qualities which are ethical, moral, aspirational, admirational qualities which you would want to possess yourself. I feel like being able to have connection with people who are just good people, who mean well and who want to improve and allow you to express your authentic self and accept that, that is worth its weight in gold. So I really do believe, like, when we do decide to commit and embark on the journey of development, self-exploration, elevation, whatever you want to call it, I feel like a key component within that, when you learn to be present with yourself in solitude and not need to be addicted to digital distraction and surround yourself with people and, you know, just consume, drink, and drugs abundantly and unable just to sit still with yourself. I feel like as soon as you decide to embark on a journey to be able to do those things and master those things and be comfortable and confident and competent in doing those things, I then do feel like the next necessary step is get yourself out there, connect with people. And if you find yourself in a situation in life where I come from a place, I come from a very small town where there aren't very many people who operate on this wavelength. There's just not. There's just not. But I've now attracted, by me authentically expressing myself and staying true to my core values, I've now attracted into my circle and network some men who I've got so much love and gratitude for. Like, and you know who you are if you listen to this. Like, I've got so much love and gratitude for the people who I'm now attracting into my life who are on that wavelength. And if you find yourself in a scenario, in a situation where you think there's nobody who is operating on this wavelength who I know, well, then that's a great sign that you should push yourself out the comfort zone and put yourself into situations, put yourself into circumstances and events where you're likely going to meet those people. A great place to do so is a sauna. Get yourself in a sauna. I love going into the sauna because the conversations that unfold, I'll just have them and I'll form incredible connections with people. And I feel like if somebody can upkeep a conversation and have interest in a conversation that I'm having, then I actually want to connect with you on more of a personal level. You're in the gym, you're bettering yourself, you're in a sauna, you clearly are like pushing yourself. That's qualities of somebody who I aspire to have within myself. I would love to connect. I go into the sea, I go sea dipping. People who are in the sea, you can have a conversation with, and I want to connect with because you're literally in the middle of the sea and it is wintertime, which is where I've actually been tonight in the pitch black with a brother of mine. And it was peace, it was bliss. So that's for me, because I am very growth oriented. I'm very much about elevation, conscious conversations, development, progression, all of these things, meaningful conversations, beneficial conversations, not just brain dead stuff about what was on TV or TV show or whatever. So what does that look like for you? And you might not know what that looks like. You might not even know who you are. You might not even know what makes you tick. And that's okay. That is absolutely okay. And I'm of the belief that that is a very exciting position to be in, because what better place to start than where you are right now? So I thought that's what I would actually share today. Hopefully you found value in this. It's just something which I've actually just, I don't really feel like I've shared much value. I feel like I've just been sharing more about my journey. But hopefully there's been value within that, because I do feel like, yes, the development, yes, the goals, yes, the pursuit of a worthy ideal. But don't place your happiness and the feeling of love and of gratitude and appreciation on this thing in the future, because that's you chasing the sunset on the horizon. And that's how I've actually been operating for so long. Just thinking that when I get this thing, when I get this amount of money, when I get this position in business, when I have the certain lifestyle, that's when I'm going to feel the feeling. And I would put this incredible amount of pressure on myself, heavy, heavy pressure, to the point where it wasn't even solitude that I was in. It was just social isolation completely. And it's unhealthy. It's heavy energy. And it's operating with a level of ignorance, because what I was in turn doing in that moment, and you might very well be doing the same, because I know that I've got a lot of people who are listening to the podcast who are entrepreneurial, they're building a business, they're on a pursuit of creating financial freedom in their life. Don't fall into the trap, or be mindful about falling into the trap of placing your happiness and peace in the future. Because to the subconscious mind, the emotional mind, it doesn't understand the concept of time. It knows no time. Time's ego, time's an illusion, because you're only ever somewhere and at a point in time. No, what's it saying? You're only ever somewhere at some time, and it's the same all around. You can only ever be here, and it can only ever be now. Something along the lines of that. I've just heard Bob Proctor say it. I thought I'd be able to recite it. I've probably butchered it. But you can only ever be here, and it can only ever be now. That's it. All you ever have is the now. The only place you can be is here. That's it. Everything else is an illusion. The past, the future. It's literally an illusion. So be mindful about also falling into the trap of placing that happiness on an experience in the future. And be grateful for where you are. Breathe. Look at where you are. Look how far you've come. Reflect. Appreciate and admire where you're actually at. Smell the roses. Smell the roses. Look at where you're at. Appreciate and just love the journey and just release the pressure and breathe. Breathe. Just have faith that whatever's meant to be is meant to be. There's a brother of mine. He has this saying, and I love it. It's what, and this is in a Northeast accent. It's what's for you won't go by you. Right? That probably sounds like alien talk for a lot of people. Let me translate. What is for you won't go by you. Right? What's meant for you, you won't miss it. You'll never miss whatever's meant for you. So just breathe, relax, breathe into it and have faith. Enjoy where you're at. Be grateful where you're at. Connect with incredible people who uplift and inspire you and have qualities that you aspire to possess and actually help you progress forward as a human on whatever level, physical, mental, spiritual, financial, emotional, whatever it is. And just enjoy the journey. Enjoy the ride. Be human. Be a human being, not a human doing. That's my little bit of wisdom for today. So I hope you found value in that. And if you have, as always, please do share. If you feel like somebody needs to hear the message, please do share. I love it. I appreciate it. I've got so much love for everybody sharing it. It's just like, it's incredible. So as always, remember, signing off, that beautiful mind of yours is the creator. You are the observer. And your life can change in an instant the moment that you decide to change. Peace out and enjoy the journey. Much love.